Oh, it doesn't turn on unless it doesn't activate unless there's no light present. That's the thing. Oh, wait. Oh, it did activate. Yeah. Let's deactivate. You can activate or deactivate. Billy Corgan, the lead singer and frontman of, Smashing Pumpkins. So he had a short that I watched today, and it was like, all these guys come up to me and said, "Oh man, I really like 1979, but your rest of your music I don't like." Well, I will say this. Here's all the Smashing Pumpkins stuff I liked. Or loved, even. I love 1979. That one was really sweet. It's really a nice little throwback to a... it's like one of those songs. It's like, what about, youthful innocence and time and place and... Especially, it was poignant, I think, calling it 1979 because that was, right before the glorious 1980s, a sweet and innocent time, more or less, in America. So it was like on the cusp of innocence and youth, and it was a great song. Kind of encapsulated that whole feeling. He was able to encapsulate through his music that idea and the feeling at the same time. And I'm not sure that every song can encapsulate a feeling and an idea at the same time. I'm not sure if a song can encapsulate a feeling, a mood, an atmosphere, an aesthetic, and then also a concept at the same time. And my God, Billy Corgan and the Smashing Pumpkins did it with 1979. So... maybe it hits you. Maybe if you listen to it when you're 50, it doesn't hit you that hard. But if you're like 15 or 13 or 11 years old, it hits you pretty hard. The whole ambience of it. Yeah. But I like Tonight. Yeah. Zero. I like their heavier shit. Snail. Today. Disarm, and the list probably goes on and on. Is there a Smashing Pumpkin song I don't like? I don't know if there is. I haven't heard it yet. I never heard like a Smashing Pumpkin song that I was like, oh, turn that shit off. I mean, that's probably not gonna happen. I mean, or I don't like this one. Hurry, turn it off. It's gonna hurt my ears. Yeah, that was sweet for Dolly Parton experiencing health problems to tell the world, don't worry, I will always love you. To all my fans and all the people, all my supporters in the world, remember, I will always love you. it's too, yeah. It's kind of too moody in here. I need some more light. It's getting darker and murkier and colder. Maybe you're having a bad day. You know, let's say that you're having a bad day or whatever. You're going to the job site, you're sitting through traffic or whatever the fuck. And you have on your mix, you got Smashing Pumpkins 0. And it's like, cleanliness is godliness and godliness is empty or whatever. And he's like, and God is empty just like me. You know? And you're hearing that and you're like, oh yeah, that kind of helps me through my bad day. I can feel that one. Have I got sick of the Thanksgiving leftovers yet? It was really good because when you think about it, isn't Thanksgiving dinner just Italian in disguise? It's American Italian. What I mean is, in the Mediterranean, you know, they use pita bread and some beef and some, you know, goat cheese or whatever. But they're basically making a fajita or a... So in Mexico, they use like, you know, corn tortillas with beans and some chicken. So... And in Italy, they just use noodles with meat and a sauce. I think you know what I'm getting at here. So Thanksgiving is the American version of Italian food because you have stuffing, which is like cornbread, and you have the sauce, the turkey giblet gravy, and you have the turkey meat. So that's just like pasta, except you know, it's got celery and like cornbread and egg in it and stuff. So because you have your bread and your meat and your sauce. So yeah, there's no noodles. I mean, it's like it's like symbolically Italian. You know, like basically in the feast, you know, between the colonists from Europe and the Native American Indians, they just kind of blended everything together to make a culinary epic event called Thanksgiving. And so if you're like a European, you're like, hey, Wakaluko. Yeah, can you pass the corn, please? And it's like, oh shit, that guy doesn't have underwear on. Then when the Indian woman walked by, it was like, oh, well, that's okay that she doesn't have any underwear on. Wow, wow. Pocahontas. Oh, yeah. Bella just barking at my mom for food for like, she would just sit there for an hour and go, ah, rah, rah. She would just sit there for like a fucking hour. She wouldn't get tired. You know, unfortunately, I don't think dogs get tired from barking. Dogs are committed barkers. Because, like, if I was singing for like 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours, you know, there would be a point where I'd say, okay, dogs don't really seem to have that. I took a bath today in the jacuzzi bath. I used Mr. Bubbles and Skin So Soft. Calgon, Take Me Away, and yeah, that like baby oil stuff, but for like adults. I guess Mr. Bubbles was the least adult thing that I put in the bath. But I don't give a fuck if it has a fucking Elmo-looking Sesame Street dude on it. I don't give a shit. Because Mr. Bubbles is awesome, no matter what age you are. When you need to lather up your balls, that is the way to go. To get that butt oily smooth. Oily butts. Oily butts. So Dolly Parton, if she was having a health crisis and she was going to die, she would get on social media and say, well, it ain't looking good, y'all. Looks like I'm almost out of this journey. It's been nice knowing you, and remember, I'll always love you. Thank y'all, sweethearts, for being with me all this time. Goodbye, and God bless you. And then it'd be like, if she had a chance to get on social media or something. Or maybe she would live stream from the hospital, you know, because it's the social media age. Yeah. Well, I'm in ICU, everybody. You see the tube going through my face? It means probably doctors say I only got... Well, you know, it's not good if you got this many tubes going through your face. I mean, I hope that's not, you know, the last image of Dolly. Hopefully it's just like I'll always love you, fans and friends. And then, yeah. But who knows? Maybe she gets to live for a lot longer. I don't know. This is all just according to God's plan, so nobody worry about a thing. It's all part of the plan. George Carlin, remember that? What happened to God's plan? Remember that? Remember that great God's plan that he had? Anybody remember the big plan? Yeah, that's a funny monologue by George Carlin. But if you believe in a supreme being that has an overarching plan for mankind in the universe, well, more power to you. I guess this is really what it's all about. What? Yeah, that's better. So we gotta. I didn't really want to kill the spider in the bath, the itsy bitsy spider down the water spout, but it was kind of like, well, I want to kind of dunk my head in the water and I don't want to be eating a spider, so I was like, you're going in the toilet, brother. Peace. It was an itsy bitsy spider. Now, I'm not really afraid of creatures because, there's only one kind of motherfucker that can create a atomic bomb or a super weapon or something. There's only one motherfucker. There's only one kind of life that can create a devastating biological weapon. There's only one kind of creature that can do that, and that's a human being. So, frog ain't gonna do that. The spider isn't gonna do that. The snake isn't even gonna do that. But the human being, would unleash that on humanity, on its own self. do like the tarantula. I like the tarantula because I'm not afraid of arachnids. Now, if I went to the spider cave or something, maybe I'd start to get spooked out. You know, in Albania and Greece, in the big spider cave with over 80,000 spiders, maybe I'd get a bit arachnophobic. Maybe if I was going through the Australian outback and I saw a big fucking spider and it was a big, huge mega tarantula, it was like this fucking big, maybe I'd be a bit concerned. A little bit. But aren't you kind of disappointed that evolution didn't bring us man-eating crabs? Why don't amphibians kill? I mean, intentionally. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know there's frogs with toxic poisons and shit like that. Yeah. I know they have toads and frogs with toxic venom, but I'm talking about, like, why isn't there any big-ass toads that, like, eat people? I guess because they like bugs. They don't like mammal flesh. Unfortunately. So when you hear it tonight, the Black Sabbath Friday commences. When you hear the Black Sabbath Volume 4, The Wheels of Confusion, you'll hear it. That's when you know the party has commenced. Well, the thing about the retarded guy, Shane, he does look lonely. He's often by himself like Forrest Gump. And he's on the bench like Forrest Gump. And he's just kind of, man, I wish I had a real relationship. You know, like I wish I had me a real friend. You can tell. And then he was by himself on his patio tonight. And he's just looking down like, kind of, well, another day of this being retarded thing. Shit. I wish I had a friend. I wish I had a buddy. Yeah. Well, I hope he can feel a real friendship. Yeah. Besides, you know, that with his mother and his father and brothers and sisters and, you know, family members. Maybe he can have a friend outside his circle. Shane is retarded. Wish he had himself a friend. Ooh. Nobody wants to be a friend with a retarded man. 'Cause it's like having a friend like Forrest Gump. Lieutenant's Lieutenant Dan. He doesn't even have a Jenny. Friends, he doesn't have any. Shame. Alone again. That's dedicated to all the Shanes out there. Yeah, and some people, you know, they're like Virginia Woolf. They don't choose to have friends anymore. They choose the hermit lifestyle. Hariko More or whatever. The Living Death. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe I would be buddies with this guy. It's just, you know, he's like, he talks too loud. So he talks on volumes that are like unrealistic. Like you'll be right in his face, and it's like, yeah, I know, ah! Like, yeah. So it's too fucking loud. That's probably why he doesn't have friends. And then I guess there's like a little bit of a problem staying on the subject matter, but not in a creative way, not in a stream of consciousness way like this. I'm talking about like the lack of focus on the subject that you're talking about. So it's kind of like, what would be an example of a conversation with Shane? It's, hey, bad weather's coming in. And I'm like, yeah, I heard there's bad weather. Yeah. Whew. Well, very good. Looks like we can't go swimming then. You know, it's like, conversation doesn't really go anywhere. It's just like, the sun's kind of bright. I'm like, yes, bright sun. The air is windy. Yeah. Oh yeah. And the sky's bluey, tooey. And so, enlighten me again. Are the clouds white? Ooh, are they gray? Or what color is it? Maybe it's sunset. Maybe they're orange, red. Yeah, so the conversations aren't real too deep. You know, they're not engaging, right? It's like sailing with Captain Obvious or something. Or Captain Oblivious. Take your pick. Captain Oblivious. The dogs are fighting again. Who let the dogs out? Woof, woof, woof. I'm gonna have to whoop some ass crack. Alright, well, do I have seasonal affected mood disorder? Wow, yeah, it's getting dark earlier. It's, you know, my mood is kind of... You got to get into the proper solemn mood for Black Sabbath Friday, though. You got to get into the solemn anomie, into the despair of the Black Sabbath Friday. You have to summon the proper depression. won't work if you're too happy. No, it's actually, I'm not sad. This material is triggering my fucking allergies and the dustiness thing of this. So I know it's that. It's making my eyes itch. Why don't, instead of Visine for pot smokers, they have Hyzine? That'd be great if you saw the Visine bottle and it said Hyzine and it had like the weed leaf on it. Afraid your sister will know that you're smoking weed? Try Hyzine. It would have an eye, but it'd have like a marijuana leaf next to it, like a green, like a bright green leaf on it. That was my dilemma working at the CVS Caremark pharmacy. Was that I knew where the drug cleanser section was, not like I needed it, but really hot chick came in and she's like, I think my brother's smoking weed. Do you have the marijuana test and the general drug test kit? And I was like, oh man. Should I help this really hot chick bust her brother? Or should I say, oh, I don't know where the... Well, then what? She would get me fired if she found it. I was like, well, that guy was really unhelpful. He was an asshole. So I'd have to do my job, even if I didn't want to. I don't really want to bust this high schooler getting high. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was doing it too much and he was slacking off from his... The really, really smart kids can toke a little and still make a high grade point average. So that's the real smart kids. They're able to party and then handle all their shit that society demands of them. Those are the real smart kids. So the smart kids can have some awesome parties and some awesome times, but still make it to Harvard. Yeah. And the dumb kids do it too much and neglect their responsibilities and they fry their brains. So, yeah, I was like, maybe her booty talked. And I was like, hey, this is a really hot chick. Maybe I was simping out. You know, I was simping out. I'm a simp. Yes, hot woman, I'll do whatever you want. Maybe I'll see her butt cheeks one day. I don't know, probably not, but maybe I'll get some ass. Yeah, maybe that's what my young mind was thinking at the time. Hey, maybe if I help this girl out, maybe I'll get some booty. Besides not getting fired, you know? So it was funny because the drug test kit thing, it was for marijuana, it was green. It was like a green box, which made it even funny. What was the best day? Oh, there was plenty of funny things that happened at the CVS pharmacy. Oh, yeah. I like when the girl came in and she's like, a real cute girl came in again into the pharmacy. It wasn't like there was just cute girls coming in all the time. It's just, you know, they have to get pantyhose and tampons and shit and condoms and all that stuff. Or there's a pharmacy there. So they have to get the drugs and sometimes. So they used to sell cigarettes, I think. That too. Then they started selling wine and beer like later, so yeah. You get more girl traffic, female traffic that way. Oh, hair color, hair dyes at the pharmacy too. Besides the drugs. The drugs, I don't like the drugs, but the drugs like me. The Marilyn Manson. I don't like the drugs, the drugs, the drugs. So the girl goes up to the pharmacist and she's like, this is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Do you have the female condom? And the pharmacist was like, oh, we haven't got that one in yet. She's like, oh, okay, I'll go somewhere else. The female condom? Oh, it's like a condom they insert to the girl's vagina, I guess. Woman's vagina. Vagina. So it's like a reverse condom. Nano vagina condoms. You got to keep those sperm out for making a baby, you know? Because if a baby happens, then it's $1 million, and you got to pay you got to change doo-doo diapers and all that. She can't get any sleep at night. I'll be like 2 a.m. People love that. Not really. So they had kind of like, when I was like worked at the pharmacy, I was like 24, 25. And then they had some chick that was like 40, or maybe she was late 30s, or maybe she was over 40, but she was like kind of like, she was kind of hot, but she was married. And I was thinking like, oh, that girl's hot. She had like Denise Crosby hair, like from Star Trek The Next Generation. She has really nice, like sandy blonde hair. Really, really nice hair. She was, yeah, pretty, and then she had like a nice ass and a nice boobs. And one day she was like putting up the pantyhose or whatever. Putting up the hair color of the pantyhose at CVS Pharmacy. You know, like stocking up the store and shit. And then she's like, hey. Like, hey, young man, you like big titties? No, that's not what happened. You like blonde ladies with like really big titties? I'm not like Jesse from the Breaking Bad. You know, I don't just like jump into married women's houses and start banging them and shit. Because I don't think that's morally correct. So if someone says, oh, I'm married, I kind of respect the institution of marriage because, well, of course I don't want to get like shot in the head either, so there's another safety precaution there. Besides moral righteousness. So then, she's like, hey, Scott, do you ever watch any porno? And I was like, kind of a left field question. It's like, do you watch porn? And I was like, well, you know, yeah. Do I watch porn? Well, yeah. And then she's like, yeah, me and my husband watch porn. And I was like, But sexual harassment doesn't work in reverse. So if a woman talks about something, she can talk about almost anything that she wants to, sexually almost. And then if a guy went up to a girl at work and was like, "Hey, Barbara, do you watch pornography?" "Yeah, me and my wife watch porn a lot." Like, then she's gonna like turn you into the management or something. So there's a double standard with guys, and what women can get away with a whole lot more shit in society because they're the angels, right? Yeah, it was just kind of a funny left field question, and I was like, well, I didn't want to get into any kind of kinky situation. I can imagine there's like a married couple, and they've been married since they were like, you know, 19. Maybe they're high school sweethearts, and then they're like 40, and then the sex life is getting stale, and they're like, hey, what if we had a threesome or something, Bobby? And then Bobby's like, well, I don't know about another dude's balls and dick. Well, maybe spice up our sex life, we'll have a threesome or something like that. Well, since you've been fantasizing about it, June. Or maybe it's the guy, telling his like wife, like, yeah, I know our sex life is in the gutter. Why don't you maybe find one of the boys at work, have a little threesome. Yeah. If I had been proposition, would I have been like, oh yeah? I would have been like, no, that's too whack. That's way too whack. Yeah. What was her name? I want to say, I think her name was Sharon, wasn't it? It was like a standard girl's name. It was nothing fancy. Yeah, it was like Sharon or Jennifer or something, whatever. It's time to start the Black Sabbath Friday soon. Oh, we have our Mega Millions ticket for tonight. Yeah. $80 million? Ooh, what if we win it? Yeah, we'll see. I got high in an IHOP. I guess you could call it a high hop. Ha! Woo! Yeah, well, the bad thing about getting high in the IHOP is that you start laughing, and you're high with your friend. You just start laughing. And you're just sitting there laughing because you're high in the high hop in the IHOP, and then you're like, dude, what was so funny about this? I don't know. We're high. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, okay. Well, normally an IHOP wouldn't be all that funny. I mean, you're in a breakfast, place or whatever. Usually it's not that fucking fun, you know what I mean? Mostly it's kind of annoying. Being at the fucking International House of Pancakes and shit. It stopped after I took off this ridiculous shit. Oh, that's the way we should do it at the quickie store. Is CJ Stroud back? I thought I heard a rumor. CJ Stroud is back. He's off concussion watch. He's ready to play this Sunday against the, is it the Indianapolis Colts? Can the Texans stay in it to win it? Or will it be doomsday? Will it be a doomsday Sunday? Well, we shall see. Houston Texans. It's time for the Black Sabbath Friday.